Hello, good morning. It's good to be back again here on this platform. My name is Ibrahim Abalde, and wherever you are, thank you very much for always following this program. And I'm with Mr. Dedrame as the co-host of this program. We've already shifted positions again.
We swapped.
Yeah, so good morning, Mr. Ade.
Good morning, and I'm blending in with
Are you preparing
furniture
for the homecoming of former President Yahya Jammeh?
I think we're all preparing for his homecoming.
No, but you are preparing it with full force, with a lot of energy.
Yeah, we're going to paint the town green.
Paint the town green to celebrate, yes.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well. And yeah, I enjoyed yesterday pretending to be you for, the whole of yesterday's program. But I'm quite happy being me today. Thank you.
Exactly. So, Mr. Momodu Mboj, it's the newspaper review guest. Mr. Mboj, good morning.
Yes, for me, I'm in the still position.
You still
maintain your position.
I haven't shifted. Yes, hiya. How are you? I'm good. Cheers.
Good. Yes, no cross-carpeting problem.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. So on the program, we'll take a look at the code. From the code, then the Tertiary Education Trust Fund established, and we'll talk to the chairman, National Research and Innovation Fund, Dr. Ibrahim Sall. He would be on the program via video call. Yep. And we would be talking to him about this tertiary education fund, which is established. We've seen the chairman of the Q Group involved. We've seen other, people involved as well.
Yesterday we had the executive secretaries of the three funds. They were here in the flesh. Yeah.
Well, so these are the kind of things that can be done to make sure we stay our education to another level.
Yeah.
I mean, to help people that really want to further their education, but due to some financial constraint, they won't be able to do it. But this is going to help. It's going to go a long way.
It really is, and I'm looking forward to the conversation with the chairman.
Yes.
And over the time, we hope to speak to the chairs of each of the funds, and I think that will enlighten people as to what exactly is the role of a chairman of this fund, that fund, and so on. Because we heard from the executive secretaries, they gave us their perspective and their own roles, but obviously the role of the chair is different. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Meet the People Tour 2025, and we will be talking to Ansumana Eso Nyasi. I know they are going quite, hectic at the moment, but we'll try to establish connection with him, although Mr. Ade doesn't is not a fan of establishing phone calls.
But yesterday worked like magic. We had two,
and it worked perfectly.
And worked perfectly. So long may that continue. And who knows, international media might start copying us and say, how did QTV manage it?
We'll then give them an invoice and start lecturing them on how to do it.
On how to do it properly.
Yes. So it's all Islamic Games, Saudi Arabia. Momodu Gajaga is in Saudi Arabia. And we would be definitely talking to Momodu Gajaga as to what's happening and how far have the Gambia gone, what games have we achieved, and what games do we believe Gambia is going to receive at least a medal.
Yeah, I mean, we've now moved on to the track and field athletics, away from the swimming pool, away from the taekwondo mat. Anyway, as far as the Gambia is concerned, and now we're looking forward to delivering on the track, particularly 100 meters 4x1. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
So the African proverb for today: never forget the shoe you wore on your way to buy a new one.
I love that.
Never forget the shoe you wore on your way to buy a new one. Wow, bul fate. Sa dala yo solon bodon dem jeni dala.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll allow Mr. Mboj to flow.
Yes. I don't know. Every destination sort of had a journey, and the journey is just as important, really, in getting to the destination. That's how I see it. So. No, you don't forget. I don't know, gratitude comes into it. The people who sort of maybe help you along the way. Some people, often in the end when we are successful, we tend to think that it was all our hard work, we're so hardworking, we're so smart, we're so this, forgetting people who helped you along the way, the little breaks of luck. We underestimate these things, but they go a long way in contributing to our success in the end. So you really never, you cannot, you possibly cannot forget the journey to where you are.
The gratitude for that journey, and I wish I could remember the famous violinist who was called an overnight success. He says, yes, it took me 15 years to become an overnight success. Because people didn't see the journey that got him there, the people, and he talked about the people who taught him how to play the violin, the endless hours of practice to play the violin to a standard where he could be successful, and then now you're calling him an overnight success, as if he started yesterday and then today he's successful. But I like the bit you talked about gratitude, because sometimes you achieve something. It might be passing an exam, and you know, you kind of you sort of revel in the glory and the glow of having passed this exam, and people are patting you on the back, and then you know you forget the people who helped you, made sure that you studied, made sure that you stayed on track, and you know all you kind of take all the glory for yourself. So yes, I like the thing about, you know, one should show gratitude and appreciation, even if it's just kind of mentally. Yeah, I wouldn't have got here without those people being part of my journey.
That's it. And then you realize, really, the other half of gratitude is humility. You got to have that to show that you can show that gratitude, isn't it? To be humble, to realize that, you know, just as in bringing up kids, it really takes a village to make a success of any individual.
Indeed.
Any individual. Look in the story, it took a village to get you there.
Yes. In fact, it's interesting you use that phrase, because one of our colleagues got given a task recently by CGTN, who are also our partners, and she posted on, you know, people were congratulating her, and she mentioned myself, she mentioned Choi, and she used the phrase, it takes a village.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To raise a child.
To raise a child, and in making success of any individual. Of any individual.
So let's take a look at the man who married a new wife and forget about the first wife. I mean, we've seen instances where the first wife will be like, okay, he got a new wife and forgot about me. We struggled together.
Absolutely.
That's a very good example.
We've been there together when it was hard. And, you know, to be very honest, when it was tough, she was there with you. So once you got a new wife and you forget about the old one.
We've seen it happen many, many times, really, both growing up, people around me, including some of my next door neighbors, and it was very evident, and I used to feel very, very sorry for that first wife.
The first wife, yes.
Because almost without exception, the young wife was always slimmer, younger.
She looked more
and you know than the one that was there before, and then all the attention would switch to the new one, and
that's
you know
how it happened. That's the nature of man.
and they're the ingrates.
Well, yes.
As you will have people like that, but it's horrible. It's really morally.
Well, really,
awful, really, when you think about it. I mean, you struggle together and all the rest of it, and you've got a second wife, and you can even have a third, and then perhaps in working, you look at tradition, this and that. So it's, I can do this, granted, but also those same traditions and customs and norms tell you that you respect the first one.
This is it.
So they play games with this so-called our norms. You know what I mean? Whatever suits me, that's what I do. And then the others, all the obligations, they don't suit me so much, so you just go and do something else. Or maybe you're just a weak man. A lot of men are really weak. So you have a second wife, apparently beautiful, for whom beauty comes before duty, as it were. And then that's it, that one dictating things. That's a very weak man. A really strong man. You got to have principles and be fair. really. And
Never
that's so
forget the
different.
shoe you wore.
Never forget the shoe.
But there are
you
men
On
that
your way
does
to
it
buy a new
deliberately.
one.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's
They
what
may
he's
call
talking
it
about.
cruel
That's
or
what he's
whatever
saying,
they
yeah.
are.
Deliberately,
But it's-
you know, sometimes they do it for form of a punishment to the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, I will marry a younger one and bring her here, and there is nothing that you can do about it.
No,
Society is destroyed.
the punishments, let's leave that to God.
Yeah,
For us,
yeah,
empathy, sympathy, you know, human situations. Let us be more human, you know, stop sort of playing.
Yeah,
acting
and,
this
and
figure.
you know, there have been times when, and this is not a made-up story, when that second new young wife was there, and then the husband became very ill. She fled the marital home, and the first wife, who had been the neglected one, is the one who ended up
it's the one,
taking care
We've
of
seen
that
all
man
those.
until
We've seen
until
that
his
a scenario like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Let's talk about a friend who was with. Okay,
Yeah, you
Mr.
better
Mboj.
not.
Mr. Mboj.
Yes.
Okay, we've struggled together. We were good friends
Yes.
from childhood until now. You are better off, and now you got new friends. You forgot about me. We've seen that too.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Of course, that's a common.
That's a common thing because levels have changed. I am not your level now. I move with people that are off my the same. I mean, kind of vibe. You understand?
But again,
you,
in life, at some point, you sort of
you do move
you
on.
begin to diverge.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
life sort of forms, becomes a fork or whatever in the end as time goes on. I mean, let's just go back now when I think my primary school. Okay, who were my mates?
Yeah,
All gone.
they're right.
You see, now you can reflect on the good times you had, but gradually movement, one would go in one direction, another in another direction, you diverge. So things like that do happen. And again, yes, we were mates, but again, maybe I went to uni, oh, you didn't feel like doing that. So I came back, I'm serious, I've got a job. You know what I mean? I'm on this path, but you're not into that. So we've really diverged.
Yeah. It
So
can
one
happen.
cannot be sentimental about
Yeah,
these
yeah, it
things.
can
So
happen.
it may look like I'm abandoning you. No, I'm not.
But
Maybe
there are-
you are not pulling your
But
weight.
there are
I
things
don't
that
know.
should remain.
I'm not sure about
At the
that.
end, there are
not
things
sure.
that should remain.
And what,
I'm
are
not
the-
sure.
and what are those
You know,
things?
that cordial relation that should still remain between those
it
individuals.
might be
We're
cordial,
talking about
but-
something else. Cordiality, that's
Yeah,
general.
yes.
You-
That's what I'm talking
according
about.
to
That should,
anybody.
that should remain.
Because people move on and you make new friends in new situations. For example, here, when you came to QTV, there probably weren't many people that you knew who worked here. But now those people are your friends. You will invite them to your naming ceremonies and this and that and that. You know, you make new friends, and we all do that. You know, you don't have to carry all the friends that
Yeah.
with you. I mean, yeah, I used to give thanks to things like Facebook in the sort of 20 years ago, when, you know, friends that I had wanted to keep in touch with, we'd kind of lost touch because one of them had gone to Canada, like my two closest friends, and one had gone to America. And through Facebook, we were able to find each other, unite again, and you know, eventually meet up again.
Yeah.
you
So
know.
thank
Yeah.
you. We'll take a short break. After the break, then we will dig into the papers. We've seen quite colorful newspapers here: The Point, Standard, and Foroyaa. So we'll be right back after the break.
Opticalia, Gambia's leader in optical care with 5 locations offering the best in visual health. With cutting-edge European technology, Opticalia delivers single vision lenses in just 20 minutes. At Opticalia, we care about our future. Eye exams are free for individuals under 18, ensuring everyone has access to quality eye care. But it's not just about vision. Opticalia also provides advanced audiology services to ensure your hearing health is in the best hands. Our audiology services offer European standard hearing aids and diagnostics, ensuring everyone can hear clearly. Whether it's testing or treatment, you can trust Opticalia for your auditory care. Opticalia offers European standard products, fair prices, and exceptional value all under one roof. Visit Opticalia at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia or call us on 7767-121 or at any of our regional branches. Banjul 7767-126, Brikama 7767-123, Farafenni 7767-124, Basse 125. Opticalia. Love what you see and hear.
This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. Now let's head to the papers. This is the Point newspaper. Parliamentary Committee unearths systemic gaps in TDA land records. And we have the Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board, Abubakar, on the front papers. And we also have on the Standard Assembly inquires into TDA land allocation.
Stop reading my newspaper.
That's your paper. That's your paper. Yeah, so it seems to be talking about the same story, Mr. Ade.
Yes, we're talking about the Select Committee, which is looking into the sale and disposal of assets that were seized belonging to the former president, Yahya Jammeh. And it is now unearthing lots and lots of different things about procedures that went on, procedures that were not followed, and also the fact that, you know, lands that should not have been allocated to him, even if he were the president, has come up. And I recall there'd been some kind of argument around the current president about, you know, lands that he should or should not have been entitled to. You know, looks like we've been here before. But this one is about, you know, looking into the sale and disposal of the assets. The commission sort of has kind of taken divergent paths. If you just indulge me for a second, there's an opinion piece here in the Standard. It says Bah Tambadou and Ami Bensouda exonerated. And it's kind of a rush to judgment, somewhat. It's by Ibrahim Assise, University of Birmingham in the UK.
Oh, Dr. Cisse.
Dr. Cisse. And it's about the testimony that they gave and how clear they were in their testimony. And he's now blasting all of those who kind of rushed to judgment, you know, against them. Well, it's all well and good for Dr. Cisse to say this, but the commission, the Select Committee rather, has not concluded. And we don't know what their verdict will be on the evidence, but he has already made, which I'm surprised at, on their testimony, and how clear and concise and you know, how you know, organized they were in terms of, you know, they brought the receipts, as it were. You know, they brought documents to support what they were saying and so on. Yes, it was quite impressive. And the reason I mention this is because Ami Bensouda had said to them at one point, I think you're straying off your mandate, you know, in the kind of questions that you're asking me. She said, I know what your terms of reference are, and what you're asking me has nothing. And Dr. Cisse is kind of supporting that she kind of put them back on track, and she kind of guided them along the path that these are the things you actually are allowed to ask me about. But, you know, lawyers know that, you know, you can ask one question, but there are also supplementary questions, because if you ask somebody a question, they give you an answer, and it begs another question, just say, oh, my mandate doesn't, for anybody watching would think, no, go and ask that question. And that's what the Select Committee were doing, really. You know, I don't think they were sort of trying to stray too far from their mandate.
And it's just the nature of language. Yeah. Everything is interpreted.
Yeah. Quite.
And you know how lawyers can be. How they can really stretch a concept. And you know that sometimes during concepts you don't have hard borders between them.
That's it.
So it is a question of interpretation.
Sure.
In the end, it doesn't matter what Dr. Cisse says. I hope that he's saying something like
that's
that.
Right. And when it mentions parliamentary committee, they mean national.
Systemic gaps in
they mean National Assembly. I know we keep calling it the Parliament.
Yeah, the Parliament.
It's called the National Assembly.
So let's move on. On the Point newspaper, I'm seeing Sandu youth demand productive alternatives to back way. I mean, this is the tour of the president, and the youth of Sandu put it to His Excellency the President. We need something, an alternative, I mean, to back way. You know, I believe this is it's a combination of efforts. I mean, the government have a role to play, but the youth of the region to have a role to play. I mean, back way, it's about the mindset. I mean, how are you going to get that alternative from your brain, I mean, to make sure, I mean, there is a solution?
You know, there's a phrase the British always use, stop me if you've heard this before. I, 3 years ago, attended an event at the Sadauda Kairova International Conference Center, and they had young people who had started businesses. And I think, I don't know whether I bought or I recommended to Mboj that they should get cufflinks and bow tie that some of the young women were making, because we then interviewed them. And there were 12 of them. And I assumed that this was one of these schemes where they'd given young women money to start a business. And they said no, there were 20 of us. And 7 men were part of the scheme, but all 7 took the money and went on the back way. So you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
When I mentioned
so
it should be a combination of efforts.
You said it.
Start from
you
the
said it.
mindset.
And that's why I'm kind of agreeing with you, because you said they have a role to play as well.
Absolutely.
So that is an instance, and this is not made up. We can even, if people want, I can pull up the, I can go and find the story we did when we interviewed the young women, because that was an instance where they were given money to start a business. None of them did so. They all went and paid a trafficker to be trafficked into Europe. The men did anyway, and only the women stayed and opened businesses. One of them made cufflinks, one of them made skincare products, another made bow ties, and different things. And I actually felt, you know, I should patronize them, because that's what will make their businesses successful. And we did 2 stories on them. And I remember Ajibintu Drame is the one who actually went out and interviewed them. So yeah, so you can give.
So Mr. Mboj, what do you make of this backway alternative that the youth of Sandu are requesting from the president?
I think that the framing, how that issue is framed, I think is a bit wobbly in the sense that the phenomenon of backway, yes, notions like employment come into play, they matter, but just as the example that you've given, there are other things at play here as well. The way we used to tackle backway must be what we say in a holistic manner, that sort of thing. So let's focus on the employment maybe in Sandu. That's really what the issue is. You know, I would love to know if they've got any figures about how many youth are unemployed and that sort of thing in Sandu. What opportunities for employment exist, you know, locally, and that sort of thing. Maybe one should get those details before one can really go into it. But the idea that might make a consequential difference on this backway phenomenon, I am not so sure. Maybe if it is going to be a success, you need maybe 1,000 Sandus, maybe to begin to move the needle about this issue, isn't it? So let us be careful how we frame these things.
So let me give you the example of the fruit pickers who were taken to Spain under that recent scheme.
That's it.
This was legal, it was regular, not irregular. 39 people went, how many came back? 6. You know, and that was, everything was paid for. You were being paid. You were meant to go, come back, and possibly go again. And there was a pilot scheme, and effectively it has killed that scheme. So the president can do whatever he wants, and these youth can ask and ask and ask, but they have a role to play, as you rightly said, Mr. Balde. You know,
once you have this sort of reductionist ways of dealing with complex phenomena,
it's a complex
and you realize that politicians do that so much, especially those in opposition. Oh, government is not doing this, is not doing that. That's what fueling the back way and all of it. When it is deeper, it's much deeper than that. If you want to tackle the back way, then diagnose it in a sort of sober, rational way.
We had a politician sitting where you are. An opposition politician not that many months ago, and he was criticizing the president because, you know, he said he was going to create so many jobs and so on. And I said, okay, the president said 150,000. How would your party create just 1,000 jobs? And people can find the clip. He couldn't answer the question. So you can make these statements when you're in opposition, but when you're called to account to say, okay, how would you go about it? How would you tackle it? It's a complex one, as you said, and we need to look at it holistically. We've been talking about the tertiary education, these boards. That's part of actually the solution, you know, encouraging innovation, encouraging entrepreneurship, you know, opportunities for people to get scholarships to kind of, you know, go to university, and some of those people will end up creating businesses, employing themselves and employing other people, and that way, you know. And again, we talked about the fact that it's quite ironic. You have a lot of people going on the back way from here. People will always move. If somebody lives in Basse and they think there's a job in Banjul, they'll move from here. It's just another step to move from here to, I don't know, Spain or Italy or you know, one of the Scandinavian countries, because you think there are better opportunities in those countries, and you know. But we kind of obsess over the back way thing because it has become, you know, such a big thing here, and you know, it kind of clouds the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, the complexity of the situation that we're talking about.
It seems to me what we face here is sort of like a generalized sense of malaise, generalized sense of hopelessness.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we see that really the grass is greener, but we've seen evidence of it. Those who've been successful, those who went to Europe, America, wherever, what they're sending over, we can see the evidence of it. So this is the problem, this crisis of habitation, as it was called way back in 1979. Now we're just seeing extreme forms of it. So it's just when you look at the prospects, you don't see much. And maybe things are expensive.
I'm glad you used the word reductionist, because I recall being in the office once when we received a call that somebody who actually had a business here had gone and unfortunately had drowned in a boat that had capsized. And this person had what people thought was a thriving business here in the Gambia. And yet he had gone on this back way and unfortunately ended up being one of the people who lost their lives.
You see, the back way,
baffling.
I mean, the risk, I think you have more risk than even success. Number one, if you leave what you do here, or you sell your land or sell any other thing, you can either go and they send you back, or you go and even lose your life at the end of the time. It's really, the risk is high.
But the risk is high, but for the people who take the risk, they always believe that they will be the lucky one who will get through, who will make it.
So that
because,
is the idea.
Because many do, and let's be honest, many do go through and they make it.
And they make it, yeah.
And so for every, like the one that I found most shocking was when December of, I don't know, 2020, when 61 people drowned in a single incident. You know, you would have thought, ooh, shocking. And yet, as I've said again many times on here, 5 of the boys who were interviewed by Choi, when I asked them, I said, has this now told you that maybe you weren't meant to go? The eldest said, no, there's a boat going next week and we hope to be on it. You've just been pulled from the sea where 61 people have drowned. And yet, so the risk, they will take the risk.
Do you know the boys will tell you, in fact, they will tell you if you go once and you can't make it and you are back, maybe due to, you know, being intercepted or something, it in fact gives you that energy and that vibe to be having that, I mean, energy to go again.
So you want to say, next time I will make it, I will do something different to what I did the last time, and this time I will make it. So there's that, and as you just used the word baffling, I mean, I was baffling, and my jaw in surprise almost hit the floor when this guy, and he's so casual about it. He said, "Oh no, we've been told there's a boat going next week, and we hope to be on it." I don't know. I surely I didn't just hear what I heard.
He will
you know,
embark
and I'm sure he's probably gone. He's probably
Absolutely.
gone. Yeah.
And news of the sort of boats sort of capsizing and the deaths and all the horror story that's been emerging from this. Everybody knows about
Everybody
that.
knows it. It's not a secret.
It will never deter them.
No.
Why is that? It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
The degree to which people are disillusioned about this society is extraordinary. That is what is pushing them. That's the power.
And when you cannot see vice versa. I mean, it doesn't happen. You can see people using boats from that end
Oh,
to
come
this
on.
place.
That's ridiculous.
So what is it telling you? It's telling you why our people are embarking on this journey.
No, like we said, it's a complex one. It's a complex one because, as I've said, you have people who have no job, you have people who have jobs, you have people who have families, you have people who have no family. It's such a mix. It has just become an obsession that you cannot reduce to a kind of simple formula. You know, because sometimes they'll say, oh, it's lack of employment and so on. But somebody who has a thriving shop or two, it's hardly unemployed. You know.
Yeah.
Have we still got time to do the environmentalist story?
Yeah, no, we've already exhausted the time.
What?
In fact, director is telling me.
That's why I suspected director was urging us to, and so we didn't get environmentalists condemn killing of crocodile, give to Barrow, which the rest of the world is talking about.
Director,
exactly.
Please give us just 2 minutes, please. We just want to delve into this, please. With your permission.
Extraordinary.
Mbojo and I watched this because the BBC Focus on Africa carried the story.
But the last time was a hippo.
But this time was
no,
a
this
dead
is a croc.
crocodile.
That's a dead croc there.
This was a dead crocodile. In fact, we thought it was a live one that had been given.
It's a dead croc.
So what did they expect him to do with a dead crocodile? Skin it and just
Maybe eat
have
it?
the thing? Yeah, but do people eat crocodile here?
People eat I mean, I don't know.
I know we eat virtually every animal.
I know.
But is the president really
In
going
fact,
to
if
eat
the crocodile was alive, it would have been better. Maybe we would have said, okay, maybe a pond.
Put it in
a pond or something.
That's what we were saying.
But a dead crocodile.
But it turns out it was dead, and so environmentalists have raised, because we saw the headline on BBC yesterday and we're thinking, what is it they're complaining about? Has he been given a live crocodile and they think that's cruel and so on? But of course, it now turns out that it was a deceased crocodile.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder why.
Why?
So I
What's
was
the point?
thinking maybe the givers of this gift, does a crocodile mean anything?
They're
Is
the
there
hunters,
any
they're the
symbolism?
Hunters Association.
That's the
So,
symbol.
yeah.
Okay, the Hunters Association. So this is it. What is he going to do?
According
with a dead crocodile?
according to what I read, the article, I mean, it's a sign of respect and honor to be given such a wild animal. You understand? A reptile like that to be given to someone. You know, imagine hunting a crocodile down and just bringing it to give it to Mr. Mboj. It's an honor. Last time they did a hippo. You know, so it's an honor. So it's not going to be like the president is going to eat it with his cabinet or something. But
so he's going to bury it then?
It's maybe the environmentalists are right to be enraged.
Yeah, but one thing I am sure, these are things that should be left alone. They shouldn't just kill them for the sake of appeasing the president or making him happy or honoring him. You can honor the president with other things. Than killing crocodile. We are complaining our flora and fauna is disappearing. But now we are contributing.
And that's
but this was really my thought. Because, you know, was there any symbolism, the meanings behind it and all of that? So maybe that's the reason why. No, it couldn't have been anything else but the crocodile, because of the meaning of the crocodile within the way they're thinking. I do not know.
So the last time it was a hippo, this time it's a croc. Next year it will be what, hyena?
I think it's a primitive way of thinking. I think that kind of notion should change. I mean, we are struggling. Look at our environment. Now all our animals are disappearing, you know, and it's really affecting tourism, it's affecting a lot of sectors.
And what was ironic about it, if anybody saw the film, is that they had a banner talking about them being protectors of wildlife. I thought that was so ironic. You just killed a crocodile and you've got a banner saying that you're protectors of wildlife. What wildlife are you protecting? Scorpions? I don't know, but certainly not crocodiles, I'm sure.
Yes,
so I think...
And what an unfortunate word you've used there. It's a primitive whatever. No. Let's just sort of tell them that.
Yeah, quickly, we are
that's
sorting out
it. This symbolism might mean something amongst yourselves.
Yes, Mr. Mboj. I don't want director
before the director cuts our mics.
So, I mean, viewers will take a short break. Thank you. That's it for the newspaper review. I hope we were able to review all the stories on the papers.
Unfortunately, obviously not.
If only.
Yeah, so, Mr. Mboj, thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back after the break.
Gambia's leader in optical care with 5 locations offering the best in visual health. With cutting-edge European technology, Opticalia delivers single-vision lenses in just 20 minutes. At Opticalia, we care about our future. Eye exams are free for individuals under 18, ensuring everyone has access to quality eye care. But it's not just about vision. Opticalia also provides advanced audiology services to ensure your hearing health is in the best hands. Our audiology services offer European standard hearing aids and diagnostics, ensuring everyone can hear clearly. Whether it's testing or treatment, you can trust Opticalia for your auditory care. Opticalia offers European standard products, fair prices, and exceptional value all under one roof. Visit Opticalia at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia or call us on 7767-121 or at any of our regional branches. Banjul 7767-126, Brikama 7767-123, Farafenni 7767-124, Basse 7767-125. Opticalia, love what you see and hear.
This is QTV This Morning. If you're just tuning in, thank you very much for watching. And to our brother Ibrahim Jawara in the United States of America, good morning to you and your family. We pray for a blessed day. We now move on to Opticalia, Mr. Adedrame. As you know, they've been partners on this program for a very long time. And when it comes to providing glasses and eye care, Opticalia have been rated as the best in the Gambia. They have their branches across the country.
They do indeed. I even have a pair of Opticalia glasses because I went there and they did my measurements and everything. I was impressed, I have to say.
Yeah. So we have a gentleman from Opticalia. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Okay, my name is Dauda Jangom. I'm an optometrist working with Opticalia. I do consultation on eyeglasses, prescribe lenses, and give out to patients.
Yeah. So what makes Opticalia different from other service providers?
Opticalia is a European brand, was established in Europe almost 25 to 30 years ago.
Was it in Portugal it started?
In Portugal.
Yeah.
You understand? And it was established in Gambia in 1st of November 2021. And since the inception of Opticalia, it has been a brand of excellence. Because there were certain procedures that were to be done in the Gambia, but it was so expensive, and most people haven't got access to them. Sometimes you have to travel up to Dakar to do certain eye procedures. But in the inception of Opticalia, when they came into existence in the Gambia, such procedures are done within 45 minutes. You can have the state-of-the-art report that you can tender in any optical clinic in the world, that you will be diagnosed exactly as required.
And I went there with our colleague Jennifer Sonko, and we went there initially just to do the story, and she said to your technicians there, what about us? Why don't you examine our eyes and see what, I already wore glasses, she didn't at the time. And of course, they did, as you rightly said, they did the procedure. And I really must say I was impressed with both the way the technicians handled us and the equipment that was on hand. And I was aware that, there'd been nothing like this in the Gambia since I'd been here. So yeah, I was really impressed.
So how is the Gambian community approach when it comes to what Opticalia does? Sometimes people can think certain setups are very expensive when it comes to providing the service to them. Are they getting used to Opticalia?
You know, patients are coming in mass because when there is a procedure that should have been accessible to Gambians, and so many years they've been struggling to get those kind of procedures, and people had to travel, leaving the source of this country, going up to Dakar. Some people will go travel up to Ghana. By Opticalia coming into Gambia, it saves the person from the trouble of traveling, and the cost you are going to incur to get those procedures are going to be much lesser if you can do it in Gambia, and much more confident. If there is any anomaly that occurs, you can easily move back and step back to where you did it, and it can be easily be verified, and you had that confidence that your procedures will be done, and the confidence of the health care is the most paramount, especially when you come to vision.
Sure.
You understand? You have to got the utmost confidence of the personality that is doing the procedure, so that you can have that percentage of trust, so that you can proceed with the procedure. You know, that is the advantage. Always the trust. That's why Opticalia is dealing with the utmost level of professionalism of taking all those procedures, which is very, very important.
Sure. So you do things like we see contact lenses. Do you do laser eye?
Yes, we do lasers. We do laser procedures there.
Okay.
Yes, there is a procedure called the YAC laser.
Okay.
It is done there. And there is a procedure also. There are certain diagnoses you cannot do them unless there are certain procedures you do. And during that time, it was not happening in the Gambia. But in the inception of Opticalia coming into Gambia, it is easily be done within a short period, whereby you get the results, and anywhere you travel in this world, you can get the same diagnosis. Presenting those results, you get the best diagnosis that you need to have.
And now, Mr. Bale and I were used to seeing people along the side of the road selling glasses. People, what's your advice to people? I mean, the obvious one would be don't, because that's not really. But if they can come to Opticalia, they can get the proper prescription that is correct and right for them, and the glasses can be made to that prescription.
You know, the problem here is along this side of the road, that's very risky. Because there you don't have a proper consultation. That's what we call refraction. To do the proper consultation to know and determine the extent of the defect of the eye, so that it can be corrected with the best possible correction lenses. It's better to do the consultation and determine how far the person sees and the extent of the anomaly of the eye. Then you can do the exact correction. You know what you do when you go to the optometrist? They will first do an NTVA. That's what we call NTVA, to check how far the person sees without the aid of any prescription.
Sure.
By determining that, can show you how much percentage the eye can see naturally. Then by doing the consultation, you measure. Like there is a distance. Let's say, for example, let's take this table as the eyeball, and you have the entrance of the eye that is called the cornea.
Cornea, yeah.
And the most sensitive part of the eye, where we call the retina.
Yes, yeah.
And whenever light goes into the eyes, it is directly should be focusing to the retina for the person to see very clear. And all lights not reaching to the retina, then that means there is an anomaly into that eye. That eye needs to be corrected.
Yeah, correct.
Now, what you do to get the best possible prescription, you need to measure where it should be focusing, that's to the retina, and where it is naturally focusing from the eye. That's the distance you need to measure.
Sure.
By being a professional, you can easily detect that by doing the consultation. That's what we do call refraction.
Yeah,
when you do the refraction, then it is easily detected. Then from there, that measurement you take, that is what is corresponding with glasses, to push the image to fall onto the retina so that the person could be seen very comfortably.
Yes, yes. And I can give you a quick demonstration. So I've taken off my glasses. I can read everything on this paper.
Okay.
But if it came to the newspaper, I can read the headlines and the subheadings. But if it came to the actual articles of the newspaper,
Newspapers, yes, it is going to be very difficult.
I need my glasses.
Okay. And that is what we
at
call
the same distance.
And
yeah.
that is what we call presbyopia in optics.
Yeah.
You know, with reading glasses, there is a certain age where it manifests. There is an age whereby you don't need reading glasses.
Yeah, quite.
That's the age from youth age to up to 39.
Okay.
You understand?
It's close. I got mine when I was 41.
Yes. But,
so
you know,
it's close in the same
that's
ballpark.
the same bracket.
Yeah, yeah, quite.
That's the same bracket because
Yeah.
when you reach at 40, that's where it starts to manifest.
Yeah.
The manifestation of presbyopia means the loss of the strength of the natural muscles of the eye. See, thereby you will be needing extra plus for you to read very comfortably.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you see someone that wants to read when the structure should be at 40 centimeters. But when you start seeing someone reading at a distance of this, that means the person is reading reading at arm's length.
This is, yeah.
Then there, being an optometrist, you can easily detect that this person needs to get the glasses.
Quite.
Because that should be the normal reading distance.
Yeah.
That's 40 centimeters.
Yes.
But if the person started reading at the arm's length,
Yeah, quite.
you will know that the person needs glasses.
Yes.
But at 40, there it's manifest. But for example, it occurs in our way of life. Because for example, I could be 40 years and still managing with my naked eye to read.
Yeah, quite.
But sometimes after reaching 40, 41, they start to manifest in full
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
But in the female gender, sorry to say, I'm not discrediting our opposite female gender, but like their way of life also give them the possibility of using glasses for reading. For example, naturally, if a lady conceives and after giving birth, their muscles are dilated.
Right.
And even at 35,
Right.
when the muscles are dilated, they will need an extra plus for them to read.
Right.
That's why, compared to their elder brother, even if they are older than them for even 5 years,
Okay. Right.
they, after giving birth to a child, their muscles are dilated and they will be needing reading glasses faster
Right.
than the elder brother. So that's why the male gender could navigate up to 40, 41 before they need reading glasses.
Thank you. Thank you. We've, I think, we've exhausted that segment quickly, and we have other segments coming up. So,
But we appreciate you coming.
yes, thank you very much for
And
coming.
tell people that really it's important to look after your eye,
Definitely.
and eye care is important. But
Okay.
thank you,
Thank you.
Mr.
Yeah. So,
Jango.
viewers will be right back after the break.
Okay,
So Dauda, thank you,
thank you very much.
thank you.
Nemen on julɓe ɓen noddinte ɗo e ɓe yahude ɓe juula enen fof daroɗen dula goto si tawi ka jogiɗo ma ala fof juula laaɓi 5 e ñallal ngal aji banque limited no welti fi tawede laaɓi 3 oɗo agent compétition fi ɓe dépensamo ɓe ɓeydanamo doole ɗum ɗo ko fi tun hoolagol ko wonɗen kon ha para yiɗa daro fonka ko annduɗa ɗum ɗon woni ko hawti en kon ɗum woni hoolagol ha para noon kadi noddingol fi juulen awa tawe ɗum ɗo joni an kadi ɓeydita hen e sengo ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni noddingol waɗu vidéo joni nulda e whatsapp hara hiɗa noddina e oɗon nomba 3373555 ɗo e balɗe 34 lewru décembre 2025 meɗen jogui yimɓe ɓe annduɗa hiɓe jogui gandal ko kamɓe darata te noon kadi min noddoya on ɗo ka QTV fi wawa yiide poɗondiron e ko ɓura andirede e final on fi wawon yiide on gagnike te noon ɓe jonniray ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni certificate ji mbuuɗi kañum kadi e piiji boyi 2026 national and competition ko Ajib Bank dépense ɗum Ajib Bank yo investment partner.
حي على الصلاة.
We are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's move on to the Tertiary Education Trust Fund established. I mean, we have Dr. Ibrahim Sall, Chairman, National Research and Innovation Fund. We have Doctor on the line. Good morning, Doctor. It's good to have you on QTV this morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have you on our airways.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Trust Fund establishment. Has the National Research and Innovation Fund fully been established in the Gambia?
Well, not quite. First of all, let me just take the opportunity to say, extend greetings to your viewers and to thank you again for having me and giving us the opportunity to talk about this fund. And now it has been established. It is a new fund that the government is establishing under the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Professor Pierre Gomez, and there's an act of parliament. And now it's been set up. The phase in which we are now is actually to go about establishing the fund itself. There's an executive director who's been appointed, Professor Mamadou Salah, and the board has been also established, constituted, with quite a number of permanent secretaries from different ministries, Ministry of Higher Education, the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Finance, and a number of ministries whose work is directly relevant to and who would benefit from the work of the fund. Now the actual statutes will be developed and how it procedures and the way it will work. All that has to be defined, and so it's now actually really been established. And from then some funds have been allocated already by the government. We've got the good fortune, and we want to thank him for that, of getting Mr. Mohamed Jah also making a huge donation to the fund, as he has done to the other funds. And so it's something to get started, to get the work started with.
Yeah. So, Doctor, let's talk about the procedure of operationalizing this fund. How far have we gone to make sure this is operationalized?
Yeah, that's precisely what I'm saying. We now have an executive director. He needs a full team to work with. He will not be able to do all the work alone. So in the next 2 to 3 months, that is really the priority: establishing the fund from every point of view. Getting an office, getting the staff recruited who will support the executive director, Professor Salah. Getting the rules of procedure and the mechanisms that the fund will be using to get funds given out to the research institutions and to the research community that needs the support, and so all that is yet to be done, and that is the process. That's the stage at which we are now. But the good thing is, as I was saying, we have an executive director. There's an act of parliament, and an executive director has been appointed. The board has been fully constituted, and we are now in the stage of really doing the nitty-gritty work of establishing the institution, building it up, because it's from scratch. There was no pre-existing fund. It's a new fund, which means everything has to be done, as the minister himself was saying, and we are doing that precisely. So pretty soon we'll have the first meeting of the board of trustees, and thereafter we'll begin the work of getting additional funds and beginning to issue calls for proposals and so on.
Doctor, before Mr. Ade step in, let's talk about the objectives of this trust fund. as far as the tertiary education of the Gambia is concerned?
Yes, the objective really is to support research and knowledge production in the Gambia and innovation. It is a fund for research and innovation. As you know, these days we talk about knowledge-driven economies and knowledge-based societies. And knowledge is at the center of everything that is happening right now. And you just think about it, whatever you do, particularly in this age, in which we have artificial intelligence. So knowledge is really at the center of everything. And you need knowledge to inform, first of all, to get a clear understanding, a deep understanding of what the issues we are grappling with, the challenges of development that we are grappling with, and to see and to understand which are the best pathways that can lead us to where we want to be. And we want national development. We want Gambians to live better lives. We want Gambia to move forward on its trajectory, development trajectory. So the fund will, work towards supporting that process in its entirety. It means it will support research and knowledge production. It will support the institutions and individual researchers. It will also support innovation, right? In a sense, from research, people develop, ways and means of actually applying the research. But also there are people trying out a lot of things on their own through their work. That in a whole set of innovation processes will be supported. So it means financing, providing finance for all that work, for the research to be done, knowledge production, knowledge generation and dissemination, for knowledge to inform policy adequately. There is a need for funds to support the enhancement of capacity, the capacities of researchers to do the actual research and to disseminate the research that they're doing. You need funds and to support innovation. But it's more than funds that are needed. It's also a way of making sure that we establish the connections with institutions in the Gambia and around the world, particularly Gambian diaspora, but also all the friends of the Gambia who are in and outside of the country, with whom we can work to make sure that knowledge production, really goes forward in a big way in the country, because that is the condition actually for our development process going forward. It is a condition for achieving our development goals, the ones set under our national development programs that the government has adopted.
Yeah, Dr. Adedarami here. I just wondered, kind of more boring detail, if I could ask about. I know everything is in the initial stage here, but have things like the frequency of meetings, at which meetings will be held either by the board or by the, governing council, as it were, have those things been worked out yet, or is that all to come still?
Yeah, all that is been defined at the moment. Okay. We'll have a first meeting of the governing council or board of trustees, and then looking at for them to get a full understanding of what their role is in terms of reference, interpret them, in the way that's most suitable, and then typically for an institution like this one, initial stages, the meetings will be more frequent than when it is fully functional. Right, and since it is a fund that will be giving out resources, and the governing council or the board of trustees is involved in that process, they're making the big decisions about how much is to be given to who, which are the projects to be supported, which are the institutions to be supported. The meetings typically would be at least 2 or 3 in the year. Right. So for the first year, we are anticipating that we may need 3 or 4 meetings of the governing council. At the first meeting to be really very clear about what the plans are, adopt the proposals, adopt the texts that have been defined, adopt the rules of procedure, and then the second meeting will definitely be about now looking at proposals that have been received. Because there will be a call for proposals issued as soon as the initial stages are sort of sorted out, and then they'll be looking at the proposals. Of course, the secretariat, the executive director, and his team would have looked at everything and made recommendations. Pointed out the strengths and weaknesses of all the different proposals that have been received and present a docket to the governing council. So the governing council will look at the docket and make observations, comment, and say which ones they will be approving and which ones maybe need more work, which ones are definitely out of, the sort of the framework, are complete outliers and need not be supported.
Thank you.
And then, of course, there'll be other calls for proposals, and there are other issues to be dealt with. So that whole process is just, again, at its early stages, as I would say. But we are pretty confident that we are moving, especially as some resources have been secured already. Sure. The government put some resources on the table. We need a lot more. And then we've got the generous donation that has been made by Mr. Mohamed Jah, to really thank him for that, which will allow the executive director and his team to begin doing the work that is required to get a lot of things moving, and of course get an office and get things moving. So we'll be actually flying the plane as we build it.
Chairman, let's I know again we're in the early stages. Let's project forward. You're chairman of this Research and Innovation Fund, and 5 years hence, if you were to look back, what are some of the things that you would have wanted this to have achieved, that you could say, oh, this is my dream as we sit here, and in 5 years' time I would like us to have achieved this, this and that? What would some of those things be?
Well, first of all, a very strong institution, a very strong research and innovation fund that is well established, that is well resourced in terms of the personnel that is running it, that is also well resourced in terms of the money that is needed to support research in the country. Secondly, we would like to see Gambian research moving forward. Gambian scholars being published a lot more. Gambians trying things out. Getting a much better understanding of some of our local realities and how to process. Is the whole spectrum of research that we will be looking at, transforming agricultural commodities, improving agriculture, looking at how our economies also can be improved, looking at how social relations can be much more cohesive, where in areas where there are tensions, and so we want to see outputs of research already, publications, policy briefs, informing government policies. We want to see government policies being informed, by the research that is supported by the NRIF. That will be one good thing. Secondly, we want Gambian researchers to be much more highly profiled, publishing in international journals. Right. We are doing this because we are part of an international research community. We want Gambians and Gambian researchers to be strong and recognized in the country, but also internationally. So in 5 years' time, we definitely would be seeing publications in international journals all around. We'll be seeing innovations, people at every level in communities, finding better ways of dealing with the management of harvest. We know in the African continent, in most instances, 40% of harvest is lost. Just from the time of harvesting and from the time that the harvest is collected and taken home. So there is research needed in all those areas, how to improve and minimize the losses, how to improve yields, how to improve health conditions of people. So we want to see actually impact, lives getting a bit better as a result of the research that is being carried out. Of course, it will require much more than 5 years to be able to get to many of these things happening fully. But in 5 years' time, we will see progress. We'll definitely be seeing changes in terms of improvements in the way agriculture is being practiced and yields being improved. We want to see ways in which health conditions have been improving. We want to see, as I said, the research community itself becoming stronger, more vibrant, more confident, more self-confident, and more engaging. And we want to see a vibrant intellectual life in the country with debates on policies and, engaging private sector, engaging government, and making sure that they are seeing the benefit of the work being done through the support provided by the NRF. Yeah. And of course, we want to see a lot more resources, much more than we already have to work with now. Yeah, sure. Gambians contributing what they can, Gambians in the country, Gambians in the diaspora, contributing in the different ways in which they can to support research through the fund that has been established.
Yeah. So finally, Doctor, we would like to know how are we going to ensure transparency and accountability in managing the funds?
That's an absolutely critical issue. So thank you for asking that very, very important question. You know, this is one thing we are in complete agreement with the executive director, Professor Salah. We want every butut that comes into the fund to be accounted for. So there will be transparency in the management of funds. We should be able to trace every fund, dollars of every butut that comes into the fund, how it has been used to support the institution or to support work out there. And obviously much of it will be to support work, to support research and capacity building and innovation. So there'll be audits. The institution will be audited by professional audit firms, international audit firms as you go along. And the audit reports will be published. They'll be on the website of the fund, and they will also obviously be presented to Parliament. We are accountable to the Gambian people. We are accountable to Parliament. We are accountable to, obviously, first our line ministry, that's the Ministry of Education, Research and Science and Technology. So there will be reports, there will be transparency, and that we can guarantee. We will make sure that there is complete transparency and accountability, and we'll be reporting not only about use of funds, but also about everything, including the challenges that the institution will be facing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim Sall, for talking to us on QTV this morning. We wish you all the best of luck.
Lost the connection, I hope.
Thank you. Yeah, so, I mean, that's Dr. Sall there talking to us, Mr. Ade.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Answered your question, but if I may just end on this note.
Okay.
I think it's really, really insightful, and it was really something of a great visionary to come up with an institution like this one, and the other institutions that have been set up to support research and higher education and student loans and so on the country. So I want to thank again the minister for his vision and for initiating this, and thank the government and the president for appointing us and giving us a chance to serve our country in this new capacity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
And thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak on QTV.
It's our pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
So now we are heading from Senegal to Saudi Arabia. We have Mamadou Gajaga attending all Islamic Games. Mamadou Gajaga has been there for over a week now, and it's important to hear from him as to what stage is the Gambia at now. And we have Gajaga on the line. Good morning, Mamadou Gajaga. Kaifa halakum, labas alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, Ibrahim Abalde. Greetings to you and greetings to everyone watching QTV this morning right now.
Yes. So, Gaj, it's good to have you. Have you taken some dates and, a lot of camel milk? I mean, pullo e kosang.
Yeah, pullo e kosang. Yeah. Well, for dates, yes. But for camel milk, not yet.
Not yet. Please try taking camel milk. There's a lot of secret behind camel milk.
Basically, I won't go anywhere.
All right. So, how far have we gone, Gajaga? What's happening? What's happening to the Gambian team?
Well, last night I was at the Prince Faisal Stadium for the athletics, and the 100 meters men's semi-final and the final went ahead. Unfortunately, no Gambian presence in the finals because they didn't progress beyond the semi-finals. Both Ansu Baji, who improved on his timing from what he ran in the morning, and Ibrahim Kamara also improved on his timing, but it was not good enough to get them to the finals, which is really sad. If you look at Gambia's progression in athletics, they have been really doing well in terms of athletics across the globe. Ibrahim Kamara represented the Gambia in the Olympics and qualified, not on a wild card. For Ansu Baji, he's a young kid. He's coming up as a sprinter, trained in the Gambia, was doing everything in the Gambia, but Ibrahim is based in France for his training camp. But unfortunately, this time, his performance wasn't up to expectation, and they missed out on the final.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they've missed out on the final. So, what's next for the Gambia?
So today, the women's 100 meters, the semifinals and the finals, is at 9 p.m. local time and 11 p.m. respectively. It's Nyimansata Jaune and Aissatou Sy who will represent the Gambia in both events. So we will keep hoping until there is no hope at all. So hopefully these two girls will represent the Gambia in much, much better in terms of their races and probably could get to the final.
Gaj is Ade here. When you and I were talking earlier in the week, one of the things I said was that there's no Gina Bass this time. This should inspire the others in the way that sometimes when a star footballer is missing, the other day Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play and Portugal scored 9. But have you spoken to these young ladies who are coming in and kind of by the shadow of Gina, who we would expect to get a gold medal had she been there? What's been their attitude rather towards this opportunity that they've got?
I saw them at the stadium. I spoke to all of them casually, not officially. But they are in upbeat mood about their competition today. They want to represent their country with honor and give their best. But let's see if their best would be enough to get to the final or even finish on the podium.
And who are the favorites, would you say, for the sprints, when you've looked at the field? Are there any clear favorites?
Yes, of course, there is a Nigerian, there is a Cameroonian, there is somebody from Guyana. So it's going to be a tough one. It's really, really going to be a tough one.
So, I mean, what do you think, Gajaga, we should do as a country, to be able to improve, our sporting activities?
One of them, the main important thing is infrastructure. Yeah, we have to have the sports infrastructure. We have to get the technical capacity to train our coaches to the highest level and give our athletes the best opportunities, the best atmospheres to go to international training camps and keep on competing. The more you compete, the better you become.
Exactly. I think he said it. The more you compete, the better you become.
Of course. Gaj, whilst you've been out there, I don't know whether you've had this particular conversation with any of our athletes, but have any of them been looking for sort of sponsorship so that they could go to countries where, they get effectively a scholarship that allows them just to train? Because a lot of them, they're training as athletes, but they're doing other stuff as well. They're not really being able to apply themselves as full-time athletes. Are you aware if any of them have been making those
Well, exactly. I lost some of your questions there, but you're talking about athletes getting sponsorship. Well, there is something called the Olympic Solidarity Fund that comes through the Gambia National Olympic Committee, which supported some athletes. Currently, Ibrahima is one of them in France. Gina Bass is another athlete. Aliou Diouf, Sengan Job, and some others. So some of these funds would be part of the National Olympic Committee's support to support the athletes, to get those training camps, to get those support in order to improve their timing. There was a time, in fact, Gina Bass, before getting to France, was in Dakar, Senegal, at the High Performance Center, where she was training ahead of the 2016, is it the Rio Olympics? And then later on in subsequent Olympics also was training there. So there could always be partnerships, there could always be bilaterals with other countries in terms of support.
Thank you, Momodu Gajaga, for talking to us on QTV this morning. And, we wish the team best of luck.
Thank you, Gaj.
Well, I can no longer hear you.
Thank you very much.
That's all from me.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to the athletic events later tonight in the women's 100 meters semi-final and the finals. Aissatou Sy and Nyimansata Jaune.
Yes. So it's like I'm hearing the closing bumper. This is all we have for today's program, Mr. Adedrabe.
I thought you promised me that we were going to hear from Julia in Belém.
Oh, yeah,
Brazil.
but I'm hearing director is playing the bumper, so it means the program is coming to an end.
So it must be we haven't been able to establish a connection with Belém.
Thank you. Thank you very much, viewers. This is all we have. We'll be back here tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.